Hey everyone, welcome back to the Unapologetic Me, where I'm unapologetically hanging out with you guys. I know that I was supposed to put out video, I think Sunday night. That is my bad. I was super fatigued. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to do it last night. And we ended up having a massive wave of severe thunderstorms that was coming through, knocked the power out for me. So procrastination was not on my side. So that being said, I'm going to do this in a couple parts today. You guys probably won't notice because I'm probably going to try to splice them together into one video. But I am doing this one before work. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to start by doing the weekly layout for you guys, like I said I was going to do. So we are going to use one of my favorite decks. Blink. It is the Enchanted Crystal Tarot. I really like using this one. So let me just get into the groove. Heavenly Divine 3 in 1, the Father, the Mother, the Son. Thank you for residing in my temple. I pray for divine guidance and advice for my highest good and the highest good of the collective. I rebuke and return any negative energies or entities with the intent to interfere or intercede in this reading. I also ask for advice and guidance for the ancestral spirits of myself and my collective, specifically the ancestors of time. I'm also asking for advice and guidance from the guardians assigned to guard and guide us from the time of our birth to the time of our death, in addition to the highest versions of ourselves. So we're going to have a whole team here today. I rebuke and return any negative energies or entities with the intent to interfere or intercede in this reading. In Jesus' name I pray, the Son of God, amen. All right, now we are going to get it cracking. I do also like recording during the day, so I might have to see if I can fit that into my normal schedule. I just feel like I got a little bit more energy for y'all, and I feel like I'm a lot more present. So we will see. All right, show me what we need to see. What's today? This is the 28th. So the 28th to the 5th. So the 28th of April through the 5th of May. Is what we're looking for. So we're gonna look for our overview card first and foremost. What is the theme for this week? Thank you, Spirit. Ooh, Queen of Wands. Yes, honey. I like it. We are in Queen of Wands energy this week. As we should be. Do one last shuffle. And I'm gonna do a 7-card layout. This is day 1, and I know this is technically Tuesday, so I am going to still pull for Monday just to see if anything unfolded Monday that a lot of you guys can resonate with. So we'll see with that. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. See if I can get them all on there. Yep, and Sunday. Okay. Let's see what the layout brings. We have the moon in reverse, so some things being revealed. We have the King of Cups. We have the Hermit in reverse, so someone's coming out of seclusion. We have the Three of Swords in reverse, which is good. The Three of Swords upright is usually like a heartbreak card, so I'm glad to see we see it in reverse today. The Eight of Swords. The Ace of Wands in reverse, so somebody's beginning is being a little held back, and the Ace of Cups, so someone has like a relationship, either familial, platonic, or romantic, that's also kind of hitting a little bit of a hang up. All right, so we got a full party today. So what I'm seeing first is we do have a couple people out here, and this could be either energies within yourself or it could be energies from other people coming into your life. But the first one that I'm seeing right now is Queen of Wands energy. I am also seeing some major arcana out here. Granted, I think I'm only seeing 2. That is the moon and the Hermit. Major arcana tends to speak to like the bigger events within your life, like milestone stuff, whereas the other court cards tend to be like your day-to-day things. Court cards are specifically like your kings, your queens, your knights, and your pages. Those are like the energies that could either be within you or someone else coming up to you. The rest of the cards, like your Three of Swords, your Eight of Swords, your ace of wands and cups respectively are just kind of like your everyday details. So Ace of Wands, let's see what we got going on with her first. Or I'm sorry, Queen of Wands. Let's see what we got going on with her first. Okay, so determination, passion, self-assurance, courage, confident, creative woman. All right, so we're coming into this week confident, ready to take over the world. I know, I hope some of you didn't feel a little bit of the reverse of that in the last couple days, but if you have been, knock that out because you are in your Queen of Wands energy, and I need you to remember that about yourself. So I'm going to pull out a second deck and remind you that we're only going to be looking at, today we'll look at what's got you in your Queen of Wands energy Monday and Tuesday. The rest of these will get broken down with the situation that is, or what the energy behind those situations are, as well as advice for later on this week. I don't like to break too much down because when you break too much down in a reading, especially a reading that goes out this far, it tends to change the energies of what you're putting into each day, which will then change the outcome. So if you're looking at like your Ace of Wands and your Ace of Cups here on Saturday and Sunday, and you're worried about something that you got beginning, if you're putting more energy towards these things instead of doing what you need to do earlier in the week, you will not be set up to properly overcome those obstacles. So that's why we're only going to focus on Monday and Tuesday and then the overall energy. So, all right, Spirit, what is the energy behind the Queen of Wands? What's got us feeling confident and determined and just ready to, like, take over the world? It says this one. All right. And then we're going to ask what the situation is behind Monday, or was behind Monday, and is behind today. So what was behind Monday? Thank you, Spirit. What is behind today? And then we're going to look up what the advice is for what the advice would have been for Monday to help get you set up properly, and the advice for today. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Now, let's get it popping. What is the energy behind the Queen of Wands? Why are we so turned up? Oh, looks like, what is that? The Eight of Cups in reverse. So I'm not going to use my cheat sheet today because, as you can see, I got a whole bunch of cards on top of it. So instead, we're just going to dive right into the book that I love, which is the Big Book of Tarot Meanings. Again, bloop. There you go, for those who haven't seen it. I'm going to get a good description going. All right, so as you can see, I'm going to have it upright just for you guys to see a little bit better, to see what he's got going on. So we got someone who is walking away from their Eight of Cups. Like, they're all stacked up and ready to go, but it's like they don't really care about it. Like, it's like almost like the cups got set up too little too late, and they're on their way to just leave. You can see that there's even a little face on the sun here, who is being held by the moon, and they're also looking equally disappointed at what's going on and just essentially ready to give up. So let's see here. It says, Eight of Cups shows a moment after a decision has been made. A man who has spent much time gathering and arranging his 8 cups has turned his back on and abandoned them. The way the cups are arranged looks as if one is missing, reflecting on the emotional emptiness he felt when he was consumed by them. It's interesting to note that at the top of one card, the V on the 8 is left open. Oh, that is interesting. Yes, it is left open, mirroring the open empty space in the cup tower. On all other cards, the V is closed. So they're talking about on the usual. So like here on this card deck, it looks like it's closed. But if you look at the original Rider-Waite card illustration, which is what they usually look like, it's talking about up here. Usually these are all closed like you see on the card here, but for this one it's actually open. It says his red cloak and shoes illustrate the passion he has for his next phase of life, headed in a new direction. Ahead lay mountains representative of challenges to come and a large river, bringing to mind the phrase flood of emotions. The figure heads into unknown territory on a search for a more meaningful life. It remains debated whether the moon in the sky is illustrated as a combination of a crescent full moon or an eclipse. So it's unsure whether or not this is the moon and the sun or if this is just the crescent and the full moon. There's still some debate over that, but this is in the reverse. So this will mean more of like almost not quite walking away yet. Like you should walk away from something, but you can't seem to do it yet. But it does have you in this determined energy for the week. So something about something that you should be walking away from is kind of putting you in. It's almost like a bottleneck. Like it's building up all this pressure behind you, which is turning into this determined energy. Now, whether you use this determined energy to walk away from the situation or if you put this energy towards something else, I won't know until I look a little bit later in the week. But that's what you got going on here. I'm also going to turn to the higher guidance portion. For reverse, it says you may find yourself unable to make an important decision or feel as if you are drifting aimlessly about life. Your guides see you. They want you to know that although things may feel hopeless, they aren't. Big questions like what truly makes me happy and do I feel like I'm living in alignment need to be asked. These answers will help guide decisions and pathways to take. So again, that's what it is. Whatever you are holding off on, walking away from, again, these are not aspect specific. I do know that different court cards can speak to different things in your life, like the swords can speak to conflict, the wands can speak to your work life, cups can speak to relationships in general. But like I said, for these readings, I will not be doing a specific aspect card only because this reading goes out to so many people. So if this is something that you want to dive a little bit more into, you can always hit me up on my Facebook page, The Unapologetic Me, or you can drop a comment and we can see a little bit more about what you have going on in a specific aspect. Eventually, I will have a Patreon, so stay tuned for that. I will be putting that out there maybe in I think I can get my life together in like a week. We'll see. It's very ambitious, but we'll see. So going right into Monday, the moon in reverse. The moon in reverse usually is talking about things that have been revealed. So the energy behind that, you got the 8 of Wands first, which means something's coming in. So chances are you got some energy that came in recently, or some information that came in recently that revealed something about that a specific situation. And your advice is to be in King of Wands energy. So let's see. Let's do moon in reverse first. Okay, I'm still good on time. I had to take a look at the time too because I do have work, but I was a lot more put together this morning, so I'm actually ahead of time, which worked out for you guys' benefit. Oh, sweet. Okay, here we are with the moon. One of the major arcana. It says the moon card depicts a dog and a wolf standing in a field with the moon above them, the dog symbolizing civilization and humanity, and the wolf symbolizing wilderness. They both howl together at the moon. The moon itself is asleep. It's a symbol of the unconscious, the fears, the dreams. It lights the path to higher consciousness that lays between the two towers. This is a path you must travel alone in the dark, trusting your intuition and not allowing fear to lead you astray. A crayfish crawls from the water, symbolizing the rise from the depths of consciousness to consciousness, and can be associated with the astrological sign of Cancer. So it could be Cancer, a water sign, which is also very emotional. So this could be a very emotional situation that you have going on that you had going on Monday. Just so keep that in mind. If you imagine this card split down the middle, it's almost as if the sides mirror each other, reflecting the two paths you can choose: fear or trust. And this was in reverse. So it says the universe is sending you messages. Listen to them. A card of intuition. The moon in reverse is asking you to trust your inner voice and your own inner knowing. So that was the situation for Monday. Something is going to be revealed to you, and you need to trust your intuition on the information that you're receiving, and not let fear overcome or override your, what was it? It said it was fear or trust. So don't let your fear override your trust in yourself and what you already know about yourself and about that situation. Eight of Wands is what came in. That could be, and that honestly could either be information from external forces, or it could have been some type of internal epiphany that you had about that situation. Could have even been something that's been sitting in the back of your mind for a good minute that you just didn't want to acknowledge, but it has come and hit you in the face loud and clear in some way, shape, or form. So think back to yesterday and see what occurred and what thoughts you had about those situations for sure. Yes, Eight of Wands, it says action, momentum, progress, speed, rapid change, adapting quickly, travel, and communication. So yeah, it says things may feel like they're moving quickly right now. Your guides are asking you to take things in stride and go with the flow. The universe is working with you. Seize opportunities the moment they appear to you. So you may have been in a little bit of self-doubt. Let me go back to the moon in reverse. Let me just double check that, because I'm not entirely sure if I read the higher guidance portion of that. Let me just see. Yeah, I did read this. So you have some information coming to you, and then you had Eight of Wands in reverse. Oh no, Eight of Wands upright. Yeah, so you had some information coming to you that you needed to trust your intuition on. It came in very quickly, and they're asking you to take things in stride and go with the flow. So take that information and think on it a little bit. So the new information that was coming to you has put you, the advice that they're saying is to be in the King of Wands energy. So we're just going to take a look and see what the King of Wands has going on. Okay, so the King of Wands, if you can see him, he's actually looking, I'm not going to say he looks chill. Like he doesn't look as unbothered as the King of Pentacles that we saw the other day. He just looks ready. Like he's got his staff down, looks like he's got his hand on it, and he's sitting in this position almost like he's waiting to stand up, like he's waiting for something to pop off. He's on guard. He's not letting anything catch him by surprise. You also see a bunch of salamanders, and you also see a lion above him is one thing that I'm seeing. So there's a lot of confidence, a lot of pride with this one. It says the King of Wands sits assuredly on his throne wearing a red-orange tunic, illustrating passion and his fiery nature. He holds fiery nature, honestly, this is giving Sagittarius energy, which means that they're ready for it. It says he holds a wand firmly to the ground. His throne and cape are adorned with salamanders, representing transformation, and fire, and lions, representing power and strength. He gazes confidently at the terrain in front of him, potentially overseeing the work of others. So he's kind of supervising, waiting for something to pop off so he can step in and manage the situation. It says, now's the time to step up to the plate and boldly embody the leadership skills within you. This is a time of looking to the future and acting accordingly to your ideal future self. Ask yourself, how does the best version of me go about their day? How do they dress? What's their attitude like when they experience setbacks? It's time to embody your King of Wands self. So This is saying some information is going to come in and help you make a decision about something, and they're telling you that you need to go ahead and fake it until you make it. Even if you don't feel confident enough, even if you don't feel like you're in this Queen of Wands energy to take over what that situation is, they're saying act like you already are in that energy. Act like it and act accordingly, and it will come out the way that you're hoping for it to unfold. So that was Monday. Now, today, you are in the King of Cups energy. Either you are in the King of Cups energy or you're going to be approached by a King of Cups. And now why is that? Is because of temperance. There's going to be some kind of balance going on here. Maybe some harmony. Maybe whatever you were doing about this King of Wands energy put you into balance about that situation so that this King of Cups can either appear in your life or that you have now transformed into this King of Cups to meet this situation. So let's see that. And then the advice for that is the World. Wow. So you got some major energy coming up this week. There's several major arcanas. You got the Hermit, you got the Moon, you got Temperance, you got the World. And this is only Tuesday. I don't know what you guys got going on, but y'all are summoning a lot of energy. So let's take a look at the King of Cups. King of Cups cards are emotional. They speak to relationships. Again, that's either familial, romantic, or platonic. So it's definitely an interpersonal type card that you guys will be dealing with today. King of Cups. He strikes me as someone who is definitely going to be in their emotions. As you can see, like he's on a throne, but that throne looks like it's in the middle of the ocean. You can see a ship behind him, so he's all in there. As you can see on his face, he doesn't look as calm as the King of Wands, and he doesn't look as confident as the King of Pentacles. He looks like he is a little unsure of things, so definitely got his emotions going. He's got his chalice here. We do see a fish over here, which is tied to Pisces, which is also a very emotional type card. So this is a card of emotions as well as relationships. It says, he's surrounded by rough waters. The king sits on his throne, calm, cool, and collected, steady amidst the rolling sea. He holds a cup in one hand and a scepter in the other, illustrating his power and influence. The golden red cloak symbolizes his balance between intellect and passion. Around his neck hangs a necklace with a fish charm, reflecting creativity and knowledge, as well as his connection with water. A red ship is tossed about the waves, yet remains afloat, reflecting the king's passion and desire to keep him going, even when the waters are choppy. But the King of Cups remains seated steadily, eyes alert and cautious, demonstrating his ability to remain calm in rocky situations and the control he has over his emotions. So if you guys did go into your King of Wands energy yesterday, it definitely worked, because today you are king of your castle. You are in control of your emotions, which is a good place to be. For the higher guidance, it says that the King of Cups asks you to make logical decisions and reminds you to remain strong in your authenticity and purpose when life sends a tidal wave to knock you over. The card asks you to tune into your intuition and utilize your creativity. A highly intuitive figure, the King of Cups may bring your messages in dreams, so pay attention to them. So tonight when you go to sleep, if you do have like a dream journal, it can be a regular notebook. I would probably advise you to start keeping one by your bedside, be it a good dream, be it a nightmare, whatever you can remember when you wake up, jot it down, because it could be messages coming from either your higher self or your spiritual team, trying to point you in the right direction of where it is that you need to go. So keep that in mind today as well. Temperance was behind the King of Wands, which I said speaks more to balance. So let's take a look at Temperance. See if I can find it. Wait, what's Temperance? Temperance is definitely further than where I was at. There we are, Temperance. So Temperance looks like, so it's definitely got an angel going on, embodies both masculine and feminine energy and appearance. They represent all four elements. Water, you got the lake, you got the earth, Behind them, which is, well, let's see here. Water's the lake, air is the third eye, earth is a square, and fire is the triangle within that square. Large red wings evoke a flame-like imagery, demonstrating the strength and power of temperance. The angel pours water from one cup to another, symbolizing balance. So that was that balance and harmony I was talking about earlier. You have that balance and harmony, most likely from getting into that King of Wands energy, and it's pushed you into the King of Cups. Well done. And they symbolizing balance, flow, and exchanging energies. They stand with one foot on land and one foot on water, showing that they are simultaneously grounded and in tune with their intuition, while balanced between the subconscious and material world. The blooming iris flowers connect to the goddess Iris, the link between God and humanity. The flowers and the rising sun in the background illustrate the renewal of life that comes after death. A winding road to a mountain. So it looks like there's going to be some type of, in my opinion, before I read this, looks like there's going to be some type of journey that you're going on, which may present challenges. So just keep that in mind. A winding road to a mountain illustrates our journey through life, and the halo around the sun symbolizes a higher path, purpose, and enlightenment. So it's definitely a card of harmony, especially if it's upright. You've been all over the board lately and can't seem to find a middle ground anywhere. Things are feeling chaotic, imbalanced, and just off. You may also get restless with all the waiting you've been doing. So like I said, you was putting off walking away from something earlier up here, and it was creating that pressure cooker of Queen of Wands energy. So that's what they're speaking to. It says all the waiting you've been doing. Temperance guides you to slow down and find a balance. There's no need to rush things. Trust the divine timing in everything. Right now, focus on balancing your mental and physical wellness, deepening your spiritual connection. And then finally, you have the World, which is kind of like a card of completion. It's actually the last card in the major arcana. The World depicts a naked woman wrapped in a purple cloth in the center of a laurel wreath, symbolizing completion. In her hand, she holds wands like those of the magician, symbolizing the successful integration of his manifestations into the reality of the world. The laurel wreath is tied by red ribbons, symbolizing that resemble the infinity symbol, showcasing the cyclical nature of the world. The woman's legs are positioned similar to the hangman, and the symbol of a four. The theme of the four is carried out in the four corners of the card, depicting a cherub, an eagle, a bull, and a lion, representing various influential fours, such as the four fixed signs in astrology. You also see them in the Wheel of Fortune. They are also there. The World is a card of wholeness, completion, and integration of the lessons learned through the Fool's journey to the major arcana. So it's kind of like a completion of going through your entire journey. It says you're being guided to take a moment to pause and reflect on all you've been through. This card can suggest stepping into the next phase of your spiritual journey and personal growth. Reflect on how amazing you are for all that you've overcome, and get excited for the great things to come. Okay, so that's where we are at so far this week. So you are hesitating on walking away from something. It's building that energy in the form of a determined Queen of Wands. You are utilizing, I think that energy actually came back to you in the form of this Eight of Wands over here that gave you the information that you needed to know for your intuition, so that you can be in this King of Wands energy. Fake it until you make it, which looks like you did, and that puts you in the King of Cups energy, which helped you get that balance that you need. And now it's asking you to pause, to take a breather, to take it all in, reflect on it, maybe get a journal and see what you have overcome and see what is to come for you, which is why I'm not doing the rest of these for this week, because I feel like if I was to do this for this person or these people who are in this energy, you wouldn't take that moment to reflect on everything you come through. You'd be trying to like get your ducks in a row for the rest of the week, and that is not what your higher guidance, and that's not what your spiritual team is asking you to do. So with that being said, I will be back tomorrow, God willing, knock on wood, to finish out the rest of these cards for the week, starting with the Hermit in reversed. I won't pull up these same cards. I'll just speak to, hey, the Hermit in reverse was what came Wednesday. That's all you can, that's as much of a heads up that I can give you for the week, is to show you the cards that are going there, and we'll step through them as we get there. But, oh, and don't forget to get a journal for your dreams. That's very important. Whatever it is that your spiritual team is trying to communicate to you, it's going to be through the subconscious. All right, you guys, that's all I have. And I made perfect timing. I got to get to work. I will see you guys later, hopefully tomorrow. I will stay unapologetically me. You stay unapologetically you. Bye-bye.